Good evening.
Right, we're still not on air, but we're going to get ready for when we
Welcome
are.
along to Vitality Stadium, where AFC Bournemouth play their penultimate group game of the Premier League Cup. It's the Cherries against Queen's Park Rangers, and these two sides are going to go head-to-head for the first time in twice in a month. They're also going to go head-to-head as well next month. The match last week at Queen's Park Rangers was rearranged, but whatever happens here, if AFC Bournemouth can get a win tonight, and the other match taking place in the other group game tonight between Derby and Brighton, one of those teams can win, then it means that AFC Bournemouth will progress through to the knockout stages of the Premier League Cup, which would be a fantastic achievement. Looking at the side there as well, a very young looking AFC Bournemouth team today, a great experience for a lot of them, and the big headline will be if Harry Redknapp comes off the substitutes bench in the second half. He will be the third generation of Redknapps to actually come onto the Vitality Stadium turf after his grandfather Harry as well and his uncle Jamie. That would be quite some achievement. Delighted to be joined here today as well on this stream by Carl Fletcher, the former Bournemouth midfielder, the loans manager. Great to have you there. And Neil Perrott from the AFC Bournemouth media team. A very good evening here. I'm Ian Wilding with a couple of minutes to kick off. Carl, first of all, fantastic to have you here, and how much are you looking forward to this evening as well? Should be a cracking night.
Yeah, really looking forward to it. Great to be here. Shame the weather's not so good. A lot of rain today, so a bit of a heavy pitch, but really pleased for the players. I know it's a young side tonight, but give them a chance to go out there, show what they can do with a good test against a good QPR side. So yeah, really pleased to be here, really looking forward to it.
Have you just seen there from that Queen's Park Rangers team as well? They made a few changes from their last match where they drew 0-0 against Brighton and Hove Albion as well in their last game. So that was a tight contest. Neil's here as well, and Neil, we're just saying about that story there about Redknapp. That would be quite some achievement, wouldn't it? Imagine if he does come on at some point.
It would be, as you said, it would be a nice piece of history. I'd just like to throw in there that Harry Redknapp's son Mark also played here for the club. He was on the books as an apprentice as well. So like you said, it would be grandfather Harry Redknapp, Uncle Jamie and his dad Mark also all played here. What a moment for the family.
It certainly would. Imagine he may well make an impact at some point in the second half. So the Cherries, to get us underway then, here at Vitality Stadium, a decent crowd over opposite us as well, on a cold evening here on a Monday night. And let's see what the Cherries can do. So they started off brilliantly in the Premier League Cup as well with those couple of wins. One against Derby County here at Vitality Stadium. The game before that against Brighton when they went away from home and won by 3-0. So let's see what Bournemouth can do here tonight. Full start, take two. We'll try again.
I think the QPR lad encroached there, didn't he?
I think it'd be important for our guys to get a good start. Do you know what I mean? Maybe a few nerves, obviously playing in a higher age competition, but we've got a lot of players out there that have played in the 21s this season or the year before. So a good start for the team tonight would give them a good bit of confidence going in for the rest of the game.
So Bournemouth in possession then with Toure Williams. Plays it back to Kingsley Wellings. It goes over towards that right-hand side. And Neil, that performance against in the last home game against Brighton, it was just a very solid, organised Brighton team, wasn't it, as well? The Cherries didn't do a lot wrong, really. It was just how the opposition they came across. Yeah,
exactly. And I think, the goals not killed us, but made life, we were facing an uphill task for a long period of the game. But I'd just like to say that I watched the youth team play Portsmouth on Saturday morning, and 9 of these lads started that game as well. So it just shows you, and they're playing in the Youth Cup again on Thursday. It's going to be a busy week and a big week for them as well.
It's a big schedule, isn't it? It's a really heavy schedule just before Christmas for the Cherries, and they're on the ball now on this left-hand side with Morgan. Back towards Billy Terrell, the goalkeeper. A Southampton-born who had that arrived on loan at Weymouth in August. As AFC Bournemouth play it back towards Terrell in the Cherries goal.
Yeah, he's the only development squad player in the starting lineup as well, Billy, the goalkeeper.
It's great to have so many young players. You were saying earlier, Carl. I mean, there is a fantastic opportunity for them as the Cherries looking to get on the attack here with Da Costa Gonzalez. Ollie Morgan infield now towards Toure. Toure tries to play the through ball there for Bournemouth. In towards Ashley Clark up front.
I think both sides are set up pretty similar formation-wise, which gives you lots of individual battles all over the pitch. But I think it's been a decent start from Bournemouth, although not penetrated too much in terms of possession. They've had a lot of touches, playing it around from the back, trying to look to thread break line passes into their midfielder, into their wide men. So they've started pretty well. Just got to be careful on the transition if they do lose possession. But it's been a good start from the Cherries so far.
At the moment, Queen's Park Rangers are in possession on the halfway line. So it's going to be an interesting encounter, this one. It'll be interesting to see what happens elsewhere in this group as well in the other game this evening. But Queen's Park Rangers in possession now with Rossi. And then Rossi plays it back towards Hawkins.
It's a bit like those final group games in the World Cup when both the games are being played at the same time. You know, what's going on at Brighton. And
exactly. No one knows which one to watch. Hopefully they're all watching this one tonight on the stream. In association with Esset as well, this match this evening. It is. I wonder if we had a lot of drama, didn't we, in Qatar with those final group games. We'll see if we have some tonight as well.
So come on, Carl, who is the GOAT? Who is the GOAT?
I think you see yesterday, Neil, didn't you? I think you see yesterday. So yeah, it's exciting, wasn't it? It's unbelievable. Kind of rounded off a really good World Cup from a viewing perspective. And obviously I know there was a lot of different conversations going on before it, but if you actually take it from a football perspective, it was excellent. Some real quality games, some upsets, some exciting stuff, and that's what you want from a World Cup. So certainly lived up to it.
The Queen's Park Rangers so far, they've drawn 2 and lost 2 of their group games so far. They're second from bottom in their Elite Development League, but it's a fantastic standard as well, the division they're playing in. They've won 3 games in the league so far. And it comes back from Toure Williams for the Cherries, who qualifies to play for 5 different countries as well. Toure Williams, who goes out towards his left-hand side, towards Bailyn Johnson. And can he get the cross in? He can. Can he find Acosta Gonzalez? It's a corner kick for the Cherries, the first one. It's a nice option to have, isn't it? Having 5 nationalities there to call upon potentially.
I think Michael da Costa Gonzalez is similar on the right wing as well. I think he can play for various nations as well. It's nice to see Toure playing central midfield with Lewis Brown. They've come through together. They're really big mates as well. They've been here a long, long time.
Hopefully they can build up an understanding as well as an option there to play it towards Bailyn Johnson. It comes back out to the right-hand corner, Peltier instead. And here is Toure Williams. Nearly found Acosta Gonzalez. Going to get on the breakaway there with Cotter. But now the Cherries are going to pick it up with Finn Tonks, who plays it across towards Ollie Eagle at the back.
Yeah, it's good to see Ollie Eagle just change it up a little bit in the previous possessions. Went a little bit longer to Bailyn, which was a great pass over the top and a good bit of control by Bailyn, and able to beat his man and get a cross in. Although we've had a lot of control and a lot of short passes, it's good just to keep the QPR defenders on their toes a little bit longer. Although it is longer, it's still a pass. Just showing their quality that they can still play them passes. So to mix it up just gives them different options, and hopefully creates a little bit more space as the game progresses.
I know it's early in the game, Carl, but you wouldn't know at the moment that we are predominantly under 18 and they are predominantly under 21 either.
No, I think it's been great. We look very confident on the ball. Obviously, great credit to Alan Connell. He gives the guys the credit, gives them the freedom to play. Not worry too much about mistakes. Just keep trying to do the good things that they're good at. So it's been a real steady start, a real good bit of control. Like I said, we'd like a little bit more penetration at times, in terms of just looking forward to break lines with our passes, but very confident start from the guys so far.
Just need to say that Gary O'Neill said today that there's been a virus sweeping through the playing squad, which has resulted in a lot of the under-18s playing today. A lot of the development squad players have moved up and travelled with the first team, so that's why we are like we are.
Yeah, I think it's great. Do you know what I mean? I think it's you do get this a lot at 21's level, where you never really know what your team is going to be. I had it for a couple of years when I was here doing the 21s. First team need the players to use for training, or like you said, they've gone away with in the League Cup game. But it gives opportunities to younger players, and I think the younger players thrive on that. You want to stretch them as much as you can when they're at a young age, and kind of put them under pressure and just see how they deal with that. And generally, the younger players kind of come through better for it, regardless of the result. And of course, we all want to win and obviously want to do well. But the fact they're actually getting that development against older opposition, tougher opposition, different opposition, it's you want to stretch them in their development as early as you can, and tonight gives us that opportunity.
It's QPR on the ball now with Hawkins out towards the left-hand side, plays it across towards Gubbins. And just to be in that environment, Carl, as well, just going up to Newcastle, a couple of the youngsters going up there, that's always going to help, isn't it? Just to be in that environment for a couple of days.
Yeah.
All part of the experience.
Definitely. Look, a great place to go. What a fantastic stadium Newcastle is as well. But all the experiences when you're a younger player, some good, some bad, can mould you for your career going forward. So, that it's not always going to a perfect trajectory in terms of your career. There'll be ups and downs. You learn from the bad stuff and enjoy the good stuff, but it's great for them.
Chance now there for QPR. And it's going to be a corner kick, so their first corner. We're on that far side, and over's going to be better to take it. So there's some defending to do here for the Cherries, but started off okay so far, as you say, and now they've got some defending to do. Deep ball in, well held there in the end from Terrell.
Yeah, taken well from Billy in difficult conditions.
They're really starting to build up an understanding as well. That 12-match unbeaten run before the Portsmouth game as well. You don't get that by accident, do you?
No, you don't. Again, like I said before, credit to Al. Do you know what I mean? He gives them the freedom to play, to go and do well in the league and the competitions they're in. So hopefully we can just transfer that to tonight. They've done, like I said, they've done relatively well so far. At the start of the game, had the control, just a bit more penetration in the final third. I think I'm quite surprised QPR haven't closed us down, because they would know that we're a little bit on the younger side in terms of team personnel. But I would like to see a little bit more forcefulness in playing forward. Do you know what I mean? Just to kind of test them out of the back, QPR, see what they're like for a little bit.
There were some mitigating circumstances to the defeat on Saturday morning. We were actually in control and cruising 1-0 up, and then Alan had to make some substitutions ahead of tonight's game, had to bring off some of his main players, and Portsmouth took advantage and scored 3 goals in about 6 minutes shortly after. But like Carl said earlier, it's not all about winning leagues and things like that, it's about development.
So you're blaming Al for the defeat, is that what you're saying? That's all I heard, was that.
It's better though, it's a chance. And it's skies high in the end from him. I know, that's the thing, you will learn from those mistakes, won't you, as well? And that's they won't learn any more than that from conceding in such a short space of time. Those flurry of goals, as you say.
But I mean, Carl, tell us, some of these lads are 16 years old. You can't play 3 games in a week. You just can't do it to them.
No, you've got to be careful, because obviously, they're still developing, they're still growing, especially at these ages. That each player, each individual grows at a different rate. Some are quite mature, some are still quite young, and you have to give them a bit of time. Obviously, that's why we have, sports science department, medical department. I think obviously when they're younger, they want to play as much as they can, but you've got to be careful. I think that it's a fine line, because you don't want to be too easy on them. Do you know what I mean? There's always a case of how much can they do? Can they build that robustness at a young age, which helps them when they go forward? Because when you go into men's leagues and higher up the levels, it's Saturday, Tuesday, lots of games, lots of training, very physical, and you want them to build that robustness at a young age without actually breaking them. So that's why we have a real good sports science department and medical department that takes care of these lads and helps them come through their development.
Here's the Cherries on the ball now with Kinsey Wellings back towards Terrell in the Bournemouth goal. So no goals so far with this live stream. We're pleased to bring it to you as well. Now then, it's an opportunity here for Da Costa Gonzalez. Oh, he tries to go for the finish as well. two to his left-hand side. It's a great run in the first place, and he forces a corner for Bournemouth.
Yeah, excellent strike from Billy. I don't think the left back at QPR, Anthony, will be too happy with his positioning and in the way he dealt with the longer ball. But good persistence from Michael to get him behind, cut back on his favoured left foot, which you always expect him to do, which he's got quality in. Just a shame he couldn't find the finish, but a good block in the end, and hopefully we can get something from this corner.
We see him creating so much, don't we? He's often the catalyst there to Costa Gonzalez. So let's see what Bournemouth can do here. Furthest back is Johnson. And then it's back towards Kinsey Wellings now. Williams is there as an option, back towards this left-hand side. And the flick on in the end, and it goes back towards Solomon in the Queen's Park Rangers goal. Last win for QPR under 21s in their development league came on the 23rd of September when they beat Colchester by 2-0. But they are a side who are more than capable of producing some decent results. They've got some real talent in their academy coming through as well. As Bournemouth coming forward now with Tonks. Da Costa Gonzalez goes back towards Kinsey Wellings.
Yeah, good press initially from the Bournemouth attackers there, just making the QPR defenders go a little bit longer and making it easier for our defenders to win the ball back. I think it's good if we can get a little bit of pressure, especially in these conditions, a little bit of pressure on their back line and their goalie, just to see how much quality they've got in possession.
Here's Queen's Park Rangers now, though, with Cotter. Giving away forward from Ollie Morgan, and now it's back towards Brown. Plays the 1-2. Good play from Brown. Good advantage. In from Tonks. And good movement, though. We've seen that 2 or 3 times recently from the Cherries. They're just getting the ball moving quickly into the penalty area.
Yeah, done really well. All come from the press early doors. It wasn't the first couple of players that closed down that won the ball back. I think it was about the 4th or the 5th one that able to win the ball for Ollie Morgan in the left back position, and a nice bit of interchange. Got it out wide to Finn, who was happy to get forward, and willing. Unfortunately, just needing a little bit more quality on the cross, but great that he's getting in them areas.
So here come Queen's Park Rangers. You have to say they've looked the more lively so far, haven't they? Bournemouth certainly going forward at the 100%. Moment. And now Queen's Park Rangers on the ball now with Gubbins, and Gubbins tries to switch play out towards Cotter. And here he is on the ball, an option behind him in Rossi. We should have sent a reporter out to Brighton Derby, shouldn't we? Goal updates while we're there.
I do know very early on Brighton played QPR. QPR were 3-0 up, and Brighton came back and drew 3-3 in their game earlier this season. So we'll take a bit of that. Yeah,
I've never had that drama. And going back to that game, Neil, earlier on at the Vitality with that comeback against Derby, terrific, wasn't it? That 2-1 win.
Yeah, and that's why there's so many people coming back. They're coming back and loving watching these games. Great to see. Carl, I saw Chris Ramsey is part of their academy staff there. Did you duel with him in your playing days?
No, I don't think so. I'm not that old, Neil, but thanks, thanks for that one. No, look, he's a real nice fella, Chris. Do you know what I mean? He's got a lot of experience from a coaching and development background. They got a real good coaching staff there at QPR within the academy. Paul Hall, who obviously was doing a little bit for the first team before the new managers come in. He does their 21s on a period, and a bit of a first team coach. I've done my pro licence with him. Lovely guy, but it runs right through. Do you know what I mean? They've got a plan of what they want to do within the academy, and they stick to it.
Doogie trying to get the cross in.
Great block from Max there, getting across. Good pass out initially, and a great touch from the left back. But he saw the danger early, and he was able to get in and get a block in.
Yeah, he did well there, didn't he? He was saw what was about to happen. Corner kick for Queen's Park Rangers, the away side, and the 2 big centre backs up for them. Yeah. Dangerous ball. No doubt with that, they're going to try and get it in again. It's back to Rossi. Forward from Anthony then for them. And we could well see when these two sides meet in the return fixture, two completely different teams at some point as well. So that's the thing about this. The good thing about this competition, when we saw Derby, a number of experienced players in there, like Sir Jack Stevens, who saw that great solo goal as well. So it's a good chance to have all sorts of different teams and combinations, but just gets away that time for Morgan.
Yeah, the first game was postponed about 3 weeks ago. I remember on a Tuesday night the team were already there, and I spoke to Michael da Costa Gonzalez afterwards, and I said, you must have been disappointed about that, Michael. And he said, well, not really, because we were in a lovely hotel having some lovely food to eat. That's all part of the experience, though, isn't it?
Yeah,
there's always a positive, isn't there?
Yeah, there is. But yeah, it's just dealing with different situations. You know, you can't control everything, especially with this day and age with weather and traffic and things. Everything doesn't go perfectly, and as you get older, you have to just kind of deal with them from a mental situation. And the more experience you can get through that, the better. I think it's too easy these days to make excuses that things didn't always go your own way. So you just have to get on with how you turn up, timings. Whether it's cancelled, whether it's not cancelled, the weather, just get on with it and try and do as best you can. It'll be important tonight, I think, from a Bournemouth perspective, that we have to concentrate at set pieces. As you mentioned before, the two QPR defenders are quite sizable compared to the rest of our group. So even the ones marking them, although the QPR defenders may be a little bit bigger over our defenders, we still have to compete, make it difficult for them, make sure they don't have any free headers.
Here's Braden Johnson, who's tackled in the end, but good run down that left-hand side.
Fantastic run there by Torre Williams. He's not the tallest, but he's very, very gifted with both feet.
Here's a now QPR come forward. Just a little bit of a clip of the heels there from Tideman. That's a free kick. He's going to get his book out here. The referee is going to produce the yellow card.
I think that's all taking one for the team, that one.
I was going to say, I didn't actually think it was harsh. I thought he's got to book him there.
Yeah, 100%.
I think so.
Yeah, yellow card. The old tactical foul, that one, isn't it? They call that one.
Yeah.
That's Queen's Park Rangers will take this free kick from the middle of the park here from Aurora. So 20 minutes gone already. Both sides getting balls into the box. Pedder out towards that left-hand side. Comes back to Anthony. So one yellow card so far. As I was saying before, it's a kind of a Champions League format, really. This is Premier League Cup. And the shot, but it goes straight into the arms comfortably for Terrell in the Bournemouth goal.
He's trained with the young England goalkeepers already this season. Billy Terrell, under the former Bournemouth goalkeeper coach Neil Moss, was one of the coaches for the England staff.
Ant White is there as well, isn't he?
Ant White as well. Somewhere where Aaron Ramsdale went through as well.
Yep.
Jordan Pickford.
This time it's given away from Morgan. And Williams.
That was a nice advantage from the ref there, I thought. Could have given that.
Yeah. A great reaction from Bailey, I think, to get back in. Make it difficult for QPR. I think Al will be looking for just a little bit more intensity in the defensive work. Shape's generally okay, but maybe the distances are a little bit off, just to impact the opposition. We'll want to get a little bit closer, give that chance to win the ball back, which gives you an opportunity on the transition of a counter-attack. But like I said, shape's pretty good, just a little bit more intensity required.
There's Brown who switches play to
ball.
Johnson. Good play again. To Tideman. Da Costa Gonzalez. Again, nice combinations there, trying to get the ball into the box, and QPR come back. You say you're not that old, Carl, but I remember you playing in the Youth Cup here yourself. You had a good run in the mid to late 90s, I remember.
Yeah, I think quarters maybe did we get to? Have I made that up?
Maybe the round before, but it was. We started in the first round in those days as well. Remember?
We did. I think we beat Southampton in the first round that year.
Could have done.
Yeah, I think I remember that. But yeah, it's great. Listen, I think it's great for the lads. The FA Youth Cup, they get so excited about it at the under-18 level. You've seen some obviously great players that have gone on to be really big players for their clubs that play in that FA Youth Cup and win that FA Youth Cup. So, to play on first team pitches, and usually there's a crowd there, and these days there's TV coverage, which is fantastic. So it's a great competition. I think the Premier League Cup, that's a fantastic competition that's helping these younger age groups. I think the Johnston Paint Trophy, where the Cat 1 academies can go into and play the lower league side, I think it's fantastic for the development of the younger players. So these competitions are great. Do you know what I mean? If we can get even more of them, even better, for all the levels, not just the Cat 1 teams, because it really helps the guys get that feel of first team football. We want the development, but going into these games, we want to win the games as well. I think it's important that we get a bit of both.
And who'd have thought it all culminating? You ended up playing in a FA Cup final as well, so you get the full journey in the end.
Yeah. Well, I was out there. I don't know how much I played. I was chasing a few shadows. I know that much.
It's interesting what you say that, because the Portsmouth under-18s on Saturday morning, they had about 4 or 5 players who had played in the Papa John's Trophy already this season.
Oh, really?
I mean, that opportunity isn't there for our lads because of our category status at the moment.
Yeah, that's a great opportunity for them, isn't it, as Terrell comes out?
Yeah, I think it's important that we use our initiative. I think we've done it in the past. We've played other teams, two-legged affairs. Do you know what I mean? Make it into a little competition. Can we get a group of certain category teams together to have a competition throughout the season where you play each other 3 times and make it into your own cup competition? I think it's we as coaches and clubs need to think outside the little box, that we can get the realism as much as possible.
This is a chance, as Hamid plays it forward. And as well, Tucker then, good challenge in the end, and Williams gets it away.
I think I'm right in saying, Carl, you were the under-21s manager. We got out the group one year and drew Newcastle away. Was that right?
We did. I think, we played away at Newcastle, and I remember it was possibly the coldest game I think I've ever been to in my entire life. It was ridiculous. I think we lost about, saying obviously about the personnel, I think we lost about 4 players on the morning, because Eddie at the time wanted them for training and to be around it. So just about to get on the coach, lost about 4 players, and give the opportunity to younger players to come in. But I think we lost 3-2 in the end, but we was unlucky. I think we probably should have won the game, but it was so cold. I can't even tell you how cold it was, Neil, but it was ridiculous, and fair play to the lads, because it was coming down in like icicles, really, but they put in a good performance.
And that was in the middle of summer as well, wasn't it?
I was going to say, shorts and t-shirt weather out there.
Here's Johnson. Oh, he does well here, and he forced to save by the goalkeeper, and it's a corner kick, but great play again on the edge of the penalty area, out towards Baden Johnson. Versatile forward wins a corner kick. I
thought he done great. Like the way he was really positive, knew what he wanted to do. He's in the box. He knows the defender can't make a mistake, leave a dangling leg. So excellent work. When we had that little bit of intensity to our passing, just switched the play a little bit quicker, we're able to get opportunities.
And as a result, it's a corner kick. Johnson's there on the edge of the penalty area. Nearly found him as well. And then Hamid's shrugged off the ball. Tried to play it across towards Lewis Brown, couldn't quite. And away it goes to Terrell and the Cherries goal with 20 minutes to go here on this live AFC Bournemouth stream tonight in the Premier League Cup with Esset. And good, Neil, to be here again on Thursday as well in the FA Youth Cup against Liverpool, that's for sure. Yeah,
that's going to be another good game to look forward to. It's a 2 o'clock kick-off. So school holidays, there should be another bumper crowd here, and another great opportunity for these lads. It's against Liverpool, and Carl, people like Jamie Carragher and Nico Williams more recently have all played in that Liverpool under-18s team. So just shows you where you can go.
Yeah, they've had a real good history of bringing players through their academy. Obviously Stephen Gerrard within that. It'd be a great test. I think I've seen some of the younger players at Liverpool, and they've got some good quality. So it'll be a tough one for our guys, but nothing to fear. Do you know what I mean? Something they can go out there and have a real good go in a tough game. But another opportunity for them to go out there and do well.
So looking forward to that one there, as you say, a 2 p.m. kickoff. Now Gubbins on the ball for Queen's Park Rangers. So evenly poised this one. It could be an interesting second half to this game, that's for sure. It's not a lot in it between the two teams at the moment. Queen's Park Rangers out of the competition, having picked up 2 points from 4, but plenty at stake for Bournemouth. West Bromwich Albion were the winners last year. Cherries in their group. West Brom ended up winning. And actually West Brom beat Queen's Park Rangers as well in the quarter-finals last season in this competition.
And we beat West Brom 4-0 last season in this competition. They went on to win it.
Yeah, it just goes to show, doesn't it? As Pedder has the ball for Queen's Park Rangers. Opportunity here to shoot us some forces. A good save from Terrell there from Barla's shot. Thought at one point that might have been heading towards the bottom corner, but he forced a good save there. Yeah,
initially really good from Ollie. Like, didn't dive in, tried to keep his body between the ball and the goal. Got a little bit like the QPR player with the ball, his strike going through Ollie's legs, but Billy done well to see it late and get down with a strong right hand.
He's had a couple of shots at him as well, hasn't he, so far? That one was more of a tester there. So, as you say, strong right hand, dive down to his right hand side. It's 7 p.m. kickoff here. And just to get into the knockout stages, that knockout football, that's another thing that can really help them, can't it, really? If they can get through, as they have done in the past.
Yep, I think so.
As Bournemouth have it in the middle of the park there. Brown goes wide to the right-hand side to Tonks. One back from Kinsey Willings. You can hear the wind get up here at Vitality Stadium. But now the Cherries have it now with Ollie Eagle.
Another good overlap from Finn. Showing his enthusiasm to get in that final third area where he can create 2v1s. Especially with Michael being so left-footed. He gets that timing of his run, and the timing of the pass from Michael works pretty well. You can see they've played together a fair bit.
It's voice of Carl Fletcher, Neil Perrott as well here from the Bournemouth media team this evening for this live stream. And it comes back again from Eagle, who arrived from West Ham United. In the middle of the park it comes.
Quite a funny story about Ollie Eagle. I heard from one of the bus drivers. He said never been out of London apparently, and they were going to a game near Brockenhurst or something like that. And he was looking at the ponies on the road, and he was going, "Wow, what's going on here?"
Must have been a culture shock, that one.
Yeah. Wow.
And there's some terrific stats on the Bournemouth website about each player. I can only imagine it's Mr. N. Perrott has had a say on some of those facts that are written down on the website.
Well, you ask them and they tell you. And, you know, like you're talking about Michael da Costa Gonzalez, we brought it up in the other stream, that suffered an accident. Hang on.
This is a chance, though, and it nearly found Barlow, who was waiting, but away it comes now towards Johnson.
So he had a motorcycle accident when he was a kid, and it made him switch which foot he kicked with. Remarkable.
I mean, so many questions in that statement. I don't know where to start. Like, how old was he when he was on the bike? Like
7.
7? On his own?
His dad was driving.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Those stories, unless you ask, you never find out, Carl.
That is an unbelievable story, that one. As Bournemouth come forward now with Johnson. Morgan. Oh, and then nearly just headed away. That time from Hawkins. They're going to try again. Costa Gonzalez, one touch. Oh, that would have been good, wouldn't it, had it landed on Brown's feet. Nice quick football. Breakaway possible here, though.
Got a good story about Carl Fletcher when he was playing as well, if you want to hear it. When they forgot to pack his shirt.
Oh, yeah. Remember that one, Neil?
QPR. Oh, and it forces another good save there as they come forward with Hammer with a shot there. Dive down from Terrell. And that just builds the anticipation of this story that's about to be told as well.
What can you remember?
I know I got dragged at half-time. I know that much, Neil. I think we're 4-0 down at half-time. Yeah, I think Notts County away, wasn't it? I think I was only young, maybe first-year pro, something like that. So, yeah, due to play. I think I was playing right back. Mel Machin, the manager at the time. Yeah, and then good old Bernie was the kit man at the time. And forgot my shirt. So they basically, it you know, obviously when they had the names and the numbers on the back. So we ended up getting a shirt from a fan outside, which I can't believe they actually found a fan that had my name on the back, to be honest.
And I think it was a lady.
It was a lady. Yes, it was. Yeah.
And you ended up playing in that game in that lady's shirt.
Yeah. And then we lost 4-0, got dragged at half time. So that was a great day. Thanks for the memory, Neil.
It does beg the question what she watched the game in.
Well, yeah, I can possibly comment.
Yeah, the late Bernie Morton. We lost him this year, didn't we?
What a great guy.
Yeah.
What a great guy. I mean, terrible kit man. If we're going to be brutally honest. Refused to do a list of everything he needs to take every week. He said, "Oh, it's all upstairs. Don't worry about that," and proceeded to forget everything consistently. But nice, one of the nicest guys ever. Sadly missed.
Can't build on that now. I was going to start talking about the players' names. I thought we've had some unbelievable stories already. It's only 32 minutes in, so what we've got left to come.
You wait till I tell you ones about Neil.
Yeah, well, I'll have those in the second half.
We'll have those when we're off air at half time, if that's okay.
Yeah, when the mics are off. As QPR have it now with Pedder. He comes back again towards Gubbins. Good challenge to Da Costa Gonzalez. Now can they get away here, the Cherries? It's a good run. Got a couple of players to the left. Time is an option. Just got away from him in the end. And away it goes from Gubbins and out for a throw for Bournemouth with 11 of normal time to come here in the first half.
I think with the rain still coming down, I think later in the second half is going to be really telling for the lads. Both sets, really. The pitch looks pretty heavy as it is already. So late in the game, it's going to be a tough 90 minutes. And it's the ones who can keep their concentration and give that little bit extra that maybe just come out on top. It's been good to see that we've been sharp on the transition, a little bit more quality in the final third, but there's some real positives at the minute.
It's really starting to pour down here now at Bournemouth. There's a 19-year-old goalkeeper, Terrell. We had that 3-month spell on loan as well at Wimborne the first part of last season. That's aimed towards Johnson on this left-hand side.
Yeah, he's done well, Billy. Had a long period out with a bad knee injury. Still developing at that age, still growing. Do you know what I mean? So he's come back really well, which is pleasing.
Had a remarkable record of saving penalties when he was at Wimbledon. He had 2 spells there, and I think he saved something like 3 penalties in a penalty shootout twice for them. It was remarkable.
Doesn't do tactics. I wonder if he does tactics like the Argentinian goalkeeper Martinez. Everyone's going to be doing that now to try and get an advantage. There is Terrell. Now aimed up towards Da Costa Gonzalez. And Tonks is going to let that go out of play. So, as the rain gets heavier here.
Mentioned Alan Connell earlier, obviously, with all of his lads being involved tonight, he's taking the game. Yeah. Bruce Sirachi's taken the last couple of games, but Alan is with Ben Bradley. Great job Alan's done. Been here in the position since June 2017, took over from you, I believe.
Yeah, he did, yeah. I was there for 3 years before going up to the 21s for a couple of years, and Al's come in. So, yeah, done great. You know what I mean? Al's a great person, got great experience behind him from a playing side. But he really understands, you know, the players, really gets them on their level kind of thing. You know, he makes demands of them, but also wants them to get better and gives them the great detail and a great base to kind of progress going forward.
Lovely one-touch for boys, Da Costa Gonzalez, and then it's Johnson. Morgan. You find the cross, comes back towards Da Costa Gonzalez. There's certainly a lot for Alan Connell to be positive about so far as well. Williams forward. Tideman out to Johnson. Clark's in the middle. Good. Comes off a QPR foot, and it's off the foot there of Hawkins and out for another corner kick for the Cherries.
It's like he's got the beating of his right back, Balin. And the more ball we can get out to him, the better. That's a couple of times now he's got the ball at feet and he's in 1v1 scenarios and he's been able to get to the byline.
Yeah, it's really causing problems, isn't he, down that left-hand side. What can the Cherries do here? Brown's there as one of the options on the edge of the 6-yard box, but
I like the way Torres just sat in the middle of midfield. He's given us a good bit of control, good composure on the ball. Just keeps things ticking over. Always an option for his centre halves and his full-backs.
Carl, every time I've watched him in the under-18s, he catches the eye every week. It's just to be so naturally two-footed at that age. I mean, what is he, 17 now? It's not young anymore, but he's just so brilliant with both feet.
Yeah, I think he's always, he's been in the academy for a long time and he's always had good technical ability. Obviously, there's time to give him to develop physically. You know what I mean? I remember when he was in the younger age group, still very small, but you could see the quality he had on the ball. So we're lucky to have him in that position and try and see him grow and help him on that journey. I think obviously playing in this game where it's tough, you're playing against older players that are physically more developed than yourself, it's a good test for him.
It's cut over Queen's Park Rangers. And they try and just slot it into the bottom corner then from Bala. And off Terrell's foot, and another corner kick this time for Queen's Park Rangers. And both sides have had their little spells of pressure, haven't they, really? Corner kick for QPR. The last 6 minutes then of the first half. And this live stream, in association with Esset, and pleased to bring you now. I've bought several so far this season for you here in the Premier League Cup. Dangerous ball, and it's off the crossbar. They might get another opportunity. And again, a second bite of the cherry, and it takes a deflection. And originally it was headed away from Ollie Eagle, and they have 2 bites of the cherry, but this time it goes wide, or over I should say. Another deflection, corner kick. 2 good opportunities there in a very short space of time, but again the Cherries went behind the ball there. Eventually came off the foot of Ollie Morgan inside the 6-yard box.
Yeah, great reactions. Fantastic second phase header from Ollie Eagle after it hit the crossbar. Under immense pressure, got his head on top of it.
Good header away as well from Kinsey Wellings as well, who gets the header. So 3 players there sort of getting their bodies on the line and getting it away in quick succession. And they do well, and then they get a throw on that far side, but great tenacity. So.
Yeah, I think so. I think, like you say, when you're playing against a team that maybe in terms of height are bigger than yourselves, if you don't win the first one, can you get in the way of the second one, the third one, the fourth one? Good reactions.
Yeah, good play there, wasn't it? And especially to have... You have to stay focused, because you can think you've got the job done once, can't you? And then QPR still get the ball, and it's just a case of really trying to block them and do your job. So every player did their job there inside the penalty area.
Yeah, 100%.
And now it's a throw to Bournemouth on this left-hand side. Cherries under 18s next in action against Bristol City in league action start of January.
I think I'm right in saying, Carl, that am I right? The academy has a little bit of a break at Christmas rather than playing all through it.
Yeah. I think with the players coming into the in the youth team at 16, a lot of these lads are moved away from home for the first time, not seeing their folks. That they're playing and training on a regular basis, full time, day in day out. They've got education on top of that. And what we spoke about earlier in terms of the burnout and making sure physically they're still developing and they're stopping. They get that little period over Christmas to go home just to mentally decompress, physically rest a little bit, and then they come back ready for it in January. It's amazing the difference you see sometimes from the player that come in at the start of the season through pre-season, the early part of the season. They have that break at Christmas and they come back and they're different. They're a little bit older, they seem a little bit more mature. Sometimes a lot of them grow. It's good to see, do you know what I mean? And they kind of come back hungry and appreciating, what they've had in that first part of the season.
Now there's going to be another yellow card produced here for the foul there on Ashley Clark, who did well.
Yeah, Yeah, this
yellow card there, sorry, for Hamid.
This referee's got a little bit of history with QPR because he did the 3-3 draw against Brighton, and I think he sent 2 off during the game and maybe 2 off after the game.
Oh, really? Oh, wow.
That may have included staff as well. I'm not sure, but certainly 2 off in the game.
Oh, well, he's obviously determined to get those cards out. 1 yellow card each so far, 1 for Bournemouth and 1 for QPR. Could be Tideman, it could be Da Costa Gonzalez potentially.
Opportunity here if we can get one on target, considering the wet conditions.
So it could suit a left footer, and it does, and it comes off the goalkeeper. Clark was there. Da Costa Gonzalez's free kick. Clark was there on the rebound and picked up the second time for the away side.
Yeah, decent strike from Michael. Obviously went the side that the goalie was initially stood, and to be fair, considering the rain, he done pretty well.
Yeah, from a goalkeeper's point of view there, that really could have gone anywhere for him. Now it's a chance for Queen's Park Rangers. It's the back heel from Doogie. It's Terrell and the Bournemouth goal, so 2 minutes of normal time remains. Conditions getting worse for the players out there. Here's Brown. The shot easily into the arms of Terrell's arms.
Yeah, lovely first touch from Lewis there on the back foot. Just unfortunate with that pass. If we can just break the line. Oh, that's a little bit loose from Billy.
Yeah, just gives it away on this right hand side. And fortunately there, the cross from Cutter straight at him. They got away with that one, but he's had a good game out there, as we've been saying earlier on. And he's dealt with it well.
Yeah, he has. And I think when we talk about development, I think it's game management as well. You know, it's going into it, what, a minute left, 2 minutes left of the half. And great, yeah, we want to play out at times and kind of play through the thirds, but is it the right time to do it? Rain coming down in your face, can we see it through to half time? Let's not give anything away. Game management is such an important part of the development and games these days. It's important that they learn from these situations.
Hawkins finds Anthony on the overlap. He might go for a shot with his right foot. He does. Oh, it's a great save. What a save that is from Terrell. He's made a few, but that's the best of the lot so far. Thought that was heading into the top corner. It's a corner kick instead. He hit that so true with his right foot there. Anthony. Da Costa Gonzalez did well to just close the space, but a superb save from Billy Terrell.
Yeah, done well to get back in, Michael, after initially maybe a little bit out of position. And get his right leg in the way. Important that these wide men, these attacking players, do their defensive duties. And between Billy and Michael, was able to get away without conceding.
So there's a corner kick from Pedro. We're about to see how many minutes of stoppage time we're going to have. Here he is again. And that might be potentially the last real chance of the half there. That shot from the edge of the penalty area. 1 minute of added time indicated from the fourth official.
What I liked about that save, Carl, was that just seconds earlier Billy had thrown the ball to one of their players, and things can be going on in your head there, but his head was right on it with that save.
Yeah, good concentration.
Yeah, and then the punch away as well, didn't he? Straight afterwards, he's certainly responded well from that, as you say. Tonks forward for the Cherries. Last few seconds end of the half. As I say, could be an interesting second half then as well. And very different to the one when Bournemouth were at the Vitality Stadium at home to Brighton in that last home match in the Premier League Cup. Brighton had already scored in the first half and you felt like the game was kind of getting away from Bournemouth. But half-time here, no goals so far, but both sides have had their chances. It's been a decent effort from Bournemouth so far. They've had 2 or 3 really good opportunities. Costa Gonzalez and Johnson looking dangerous out wide, and the midfield. And Toure Williams is doing excellently in that midfield as well. A solid performance. 0-0 at half-time here in this penultimate group game in the Premier League Cup between Bournemouth and QPR. And Carl, your half-time thoughts?
Yeah, no, I think they've done well. You know, horrible conditions here. I think two centre halves, Max and Ollie, have done really well. They've stood up to the challenge. They've not dived in. They've got their distances on the whole pretty good. And obviously Billy in the goal has been a solid influence behind him with some really good saves. I think if you're Real, like I said, there'll be little tweaks, a little bit more intensity, a little bit more quality on them passes when they're looking to break lines, and when they do get it into wide areas, as we've seen from Bailin and Michael at times, they have the beating of their wide men. With just that little bit extra quality in the final third. So they'll be relatively happy with a little bit more improvement to come, but they've done great so far.
And Neil, imagine a fair few substitutions maybe made at some point in the second half as well, see if they can make an impact, and that could really freshen things up as well, couldn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it remains to be seen what Alan's going to do with one eye on the FA Youth Cup on Thursday. If it's still tight and one goal in it, he might just, keep the players on there. Well, we're going to have to remain to be seen. But I think, like Carl said, I think he's going to be absolutely delighted with most aspects of the first half, because they're playing against much older group of players, and the age difference is massive between 18s and 21s, not like 28 and 31. So I think that he's going to be really pleased at half time, and like Carl said, a few tweaks and more of the same. That's what he's going to ask for in the second half, I hope.
Well, we'll see what the second half brings here. We'll bring it to you on this live stream here in the Premier League Cup, though, at half time here at Vitality Stadium. It is Bournemouth 0, QPR 0. Welcome back to Vitality Stadium. It's all to play for here at half-time. It's goalless in the Premier League Cup, the penultimate group match for AFC Bournemouth and Queen's Park Rangers. I'm Ian Wilding. Second half coverage about to come in a couple of minutes' time, joined here by Carl Fletcher and Neil Perrott. Carl, it's been evenly poised, hasn't it? Anybody could win this game, you feel, today. You couldn't really want to predict which way this one's going to go in the second half.
No, the lads have acquitted themselves really well in tough conditions against good opposition. So they'll be really pleased with the first half. I think they'll be looking for a little bit of improvement into the second. But there's definitely some good opportunities there for us to create chances and hopefully get a few goals.
We were talking earlier as well, Neil, the first half, Toure Williams having a fantastic game in the middle of the park there.
Yeah, Toure caught the eye. I said in most of the under-18 games I've watched, he's caught the eye. I hope I haven't given the commentator's curse, because I've seen a substitute warming up, Ben Winterburn, and I know he plays in a similar position to him, so hopefully haven't done the commentator's curse on him.
Let's hope not. As talking of Winterburn, fantastic for him to be back after having that ACL injury, Carl, and to be out on the pitch and playing some minutes. It's really refreshing to see after the year that he's been through. Yeah,
definitely. It's always good to see a player who's been on a long-term injury come back. I was actually at the game when he actually got his injury away at Arsenal. But Ben, tigerish player Ben, do you know what I mean? Gives everything for the team and for himself. So really pleased to see him back. I'm looking forward to him coming back, because he had a great start to his Bournemouth career in the youth team through Alan, and unfortunately been hindered a little bit by the injury. But yeah, really great to see him back.
Live coverage to come in a couple of minutes' time. We're still waiting for the Bournemouth players to come out onto the pitch. The Queen's Park Rangers players are out at the moment. And Billy Terrell, Neil, made a couple of brilliant saves, didn't he? Particularly one sort of 5 minutes before the end of the first half. He really deserved his money out there tonight.
I thought he looked really, really solid throughout the first half, and then all of a sudden he just threw the ball to a Queen's Park Rangers player, and I thought, oh no, here we go. But then just seconds later it was a fantastic, clawed it right out of the top corner, kept us in it, and then made another fine save as well after that. So yeah, he's had a very, very good first half.
Well, we're going to hand you back now then to the action here at Vitality Stadium. The Bournemouth players are coming out onto the pitch now, coming out of the tunnel. So we are about a minute away from the second half. Let's see if Bournemouth can get the job done today. And the other game as well in the final group match today as well, by the way, it is Brighton 1, Derby 1. It's their final group game, whereas this is Bournemouth's penultimate group game. So if it is a draw between those two sides, who are level on points, they both go up to 9 points. And then even if Bournemouth were to win, they'd go up to 9 points as well. So they wouldn't be guaranteed to qualify through to the knockout stages. But if one of those two sides win, and Bournemouth wins, then they qualify. I hope you're following all that. Get your calculators out in the second half. So it's QPR to get the second half underway. And they've looked lively as well. Their front three have looked decent up front for them. Barla's had a couple of good opportunities. And it's Tideman who's coming off. So Kean Tideman is off, and on is coming Winterburn for the Cherries. So the one change in the second half.
Yeah, so that injury, Carl, that was in January, and he's just come back now. It's 11 hard months for him. I spoke to him after the youth team game on Saturday morning, and he was... he's just such a confident, positive person. That's what I found. Yeah,
I think it's very down to earth, and kind of how he performs on the pitch is kind of the personality that he is. And like I said, at such a young age to get such a long-term injury is can be quite devastating. Well, it is quite devastating, and it takes a good, strong strength of mind and character to kind of come back from that. And hopefully his progression, I know he's had a few minutes in recent weeks, 10, 20, 30 minutes here and there to kind of build his robustness back up, and hopefully we get to see a good 45 minutes from him today. Pleasing to see that the rain seems to have eased off a little bit for the lads out there, and hopefully we can make a good start and get a couple of chances and a couple of goals.
Yeah, that could make a big difference, doesn't it? They've calmed down quite a bit, those conditions, as you say. Here's Finn Tonks, who started at Andover Town before his move to Salisbury. And again, I think, come back in a second, is Winterburn. Winterburn there's it back for Bournemouth, and it goes out towards that right-hand side to Tonks again.
Yeah, good composure from Billy and from Ben there. Do you know what I mean? Both playing the ball out under pressure, not panicking.
Tries to play it out towards Tonks again from Da Costa Gonzalez, but good close control from Tonks. And I suppose I say, well, that career was playing futsal as well for pizzazz street soccer. So I suppose that always helps, doesn't it, when you play that as well? Good for your close control, as AFC Bournemouth have possession on that left-hand side with Brown. And the Cherries win the throw on that left-hand side. So second half then, the one change for Bournemouth then at half-time, with Winterburn coming on, as we said. And now it's on that left-hand side with Ashley Clark. Lots of positives from Bournemouth in the first half. Let's see if I can imagine it will open up quite a lot as well in the second half, you would think. Maybe a fair few clear-cut chances. Here's Gubbins.
Ashley Clark is predominantly on the bench for the under-18, so to come out today and start, and he's done well. He's held the ball up well when he's had to. I mean, he's only 16, he's a first year as well, so great experiences for him.
Yeah, he's really acquitted himself well against two. Oh,
great
maybe a chance here.
Sorry, yeah, from Winterburn there up towards Clark. And then it's away. Good play, not once but twice to win the challenge there from Winterburn. Straight into the action.
Yeah, really pleasing for Ashley. Like I said, good test for him. Do you know what I mean? Against two fairly dominant physically centre halves from QPR, which I think I'm right in saying. Gubbins, I think maybe he's had a loan at Aldershot as well, maybe last season. So, you know, with good experience. So a good test for him. To come out tonight and to play against this team.
And there's Tonks to take the throw. Get the attendance at some point in the second half as well. I know they said about 1,000. Looks like there's more than 1,000 out there tonight, doesn't it, Neil?
It certainly does, yeah. I mean, I think there's...
You need your glasses on that one, Neil.
A
bit too far away for you, mate.
Was I looking the wrong way? Just going back to the loan situation, Carl. Just looking at this team, none of these lads have had loans yet. How do you look at it as the club's loans manager about when they should go, where they should go, and stuff like that?
Yeah, so you know, it's a lot of discussion in terms of the development with obviously 21's manager, 18's manager, kind of going through that and where they are also physically. I think we don't kind of earmark. Not every position or every age is kind of guaranteed, or he's got to go here, he's got to go here. It's very much on an individual basis, and where we see them progressing. So some of them after this Christmas time, we would want to look to get out into men's football as quickly as we can. I think it's been really important and really quite successful over the last few years, where we've got players out at 17, 18 into men's football early, to get that experience. I think when we're looking for future loans, I think it's always good that coaches and managers and scouts are looking at our players that have actually played men's football. You know, there's quite a lack of enthusiasm from coaches, managers from men's football in terms of 21s and 18s football, which I get because they don't do a lot of what they're required to do at that kind of level in the men's teams. So to get them out there and get them experience, they get noticed more, they get a name for themselves, they can go out and do well, and hopefully progress up the leagues. I think it's been successful over the years. You know, Sam Sherrin, Sam Surridge, Brennan Camp, do you know what I mean? All these players have kind of come through the lower levels, Jaden to a certain degree as well at Weymouth. They've all done the lower levels and kind of gone up. And hopefully in an ideal situation they go all the way through and play for our first team. But if they don't, they start a career for themselves to go through these levels and get a good solid living at a decent level.
Well, Pedder goes into the book there, yellow card. I don't think he can have any complaints. He was holding on to his shirt for about 10 seconds there, it felt. So a yellow card for him. And the Cherries now looking to try and get off to a good start here in the second half. So two players now having a word with, at the moment, referee. To Costa Gonzalez and Brown.
I think Michael may have said something there, and referee has to speak to the captain to have a word. It all seems a bit like being in the classroom, doesn't it? But
it does. There's to Costa Gonzalez. And then it comes off the foot on the left-hand side there of Doogie.
Because of the way Michael plays, he gets fouled a lot, doesn't he?
He does. He does. He's definitely got that little bit of X factor about him. And generally players in that position have got that quality, that natural quality that he's got to be able to manipulate the ball and beat a man. There are times that is frustrating, but you know he can turn the game on its head. And if you can get that on a consistent level, then that's positive for everyone involved.
out towards Winterburn on this right-hand side. And Bournemouth have it now in the middle of the park here with Williams. Williams short towards Winterburn. Winterburn to Da Costa Gonzalez. One back from Doogie and towards Anthony. So one substitute so far for Bournemouth, still 4 unused at the moment. Charlie Osborne on the substitutes bench, Rhys Dotton, Stussel and Harry Redknapp.
Charlie Osborne is the son of a local non-league legend in these parts, Ben Osborne, who scored lots and lots of goals for Christchurch.
I imagine we'll see him as well at some point, you would think, when you're the versatile midfielder, as QPR have possession now at the back. Here's Clark. Does it play back to Winterburn? Great play there from Morgan. And now here's Tonks. Oh, and then off the head of Clark, and it just couldn't quite find Johnson.
Yeah, good play from Finn Tonks. Again, like we said in the first half, more than happy to get into the final third and into the attacking areas. And putting a decent cross there with his weaker left foot. And, you know, that's half a chance there for Ashley Clark on the header. Just unfortunately just skidded off his forehead rather than making more secure contact.
Yes, it could well have been a real opportunity there. But now QPR, they finished second in their group last season, QPR, in a group of Middlesbrough, Blackburn and Nottingham Forest before qualifying. They drew 0-0 at Brighton 10 days ago in the Premier League Cup. As I say, it was 1-1 at half-time between Brighton and Derby. And that's still the case there in the other game, in their final match. As QPR switch player towards Doogie. Anthony. Out to Rossi. They go deep now with Barla. Pedder wants it on the edge of the penalty area. 10 gone in the second half then on this live stream.
Keeping good shape in a low defensive block. Still need to make sure we get pressure on that ball.
Headed away there from Lindsay Wellings. There's another chance here. Doogie. And Hamid out towards the right. Good spell of possession here for Queen's Park Rangers. Barla might shape to shoot. He's fouled right on the edge of the penalty area. This is going to be a very dangerous position here, right on the edge.
Yeah, it's good shape from the lads. Do you know what I mean? There's no harm in QPR having a little bit of possession, but like I said, we just have to make sure that when it does go into the midfielders, although we are in a low block and we are in good shape, we have to impact his decision making when in possession. It can't be too easy for him to play forward, play in between lines. Yeah, we have to work that a little bit harder. Make sure the distances that we are when closing down are close to the ball and we're stopping them passes forward.
Well, Barla wants this one, doesn't he? Looks pretty determined to take it. He's got Pedder just behind him. Well, I think 3 or 4 of them might want it. There's a line of them. But Barla looks pretty determined to take this one. And he is right on the edge. Pedder as well. That's going to be a left footer. It's a great save. Well, it surprised everyone who took it, and it comes back again.
Yeah,
Terrell with a save, and it's a good free kick there in the end from Gubbins. They're going to try again, and then it's across the face of goal. And it was a good free kick and a good save there from Gubbins' shots. But Again, no one really expected him to take it. It surprised everybody.
Yeah, solid strike from the centre half there. But well played from Billy. Do you know what I mean? He wasn't too eager to kind of second guess the strike. Stood in his position. And like I said, a clear palm away, considering the conditions, able to push it away from danger.
Looking there, Billy Terrell just got booked there. I don't think any of us saw what that was. Must have been something he said.
I can only think it must have been for dissent there, as you say, of Terrell that goes into the book. As I say, the referee does like giving out those cards in the second half of the last game, as you mentioned. Here is Da Costa Gonzalez. Clark. Out to Tonks. Back to Brown, to Tonks. 3 in the box.
Oh, great cross.
Oh, and it's going to come back. Oh, it's great trickery. Can he find the finish? Not quite, Ashley Clark. Well, he did brilliantly to put himself into that position, but it goes wide of the post. Yeah,
he done fantastically well there, Ashley. Just on his left foot touch as it bounced down to him. Just a little Cruyff turn just to get him away from the defender. Really unlucky. Just couldn't get a clean enough strike under pressure from the QPR defenders. But once again, Vin Tonks getting high and wide on the right-hand side. A real positive for us from an attacking perspective in tonight's game.
It just feels like Bournemouth are growing into this second half, doesn't it, as well?
Yeah, I think we showed real good control and composure in some of our passes. I think Max Kinsey-Wellings and Toure and Ollie Eagle have kind of controlled that department when we're in possession. It's really pleasing to see. They're not over-panicking, they're not trying to force things. They're trying to move the QPR defence around to create little spaces to kind of play the passes through the lines. So it's really good to see.
Now here's Doogie for Queen's Park Rangers. He might shoot. He thought about shooting. You could tell he's about to. One back from Winterburn. There's the big centre back. Took that free kick there, Gubbins, earlier. Now can Bournemouth get on the breakaway? Here's Da Costa Gonzalez. Clark in front of him. He might go it alone if he can turn his man, not quite. Two to his right-hand side. Breakaway was nearly on there.
Yeah, real shame. You know, positive from Michael driving forward with the ball. Just unfortunately didn't see Finn making a lung-bursting run high up on the right-hand side.
As we've approached the hour mark now. And Brett Pittman being involved, that's going to help as well. With all the goals that he scored at the Cherries and all of his experience, he's going to be just an extra voice which will really help these youngsters having been involved recently.
Yeah, I think it's great. You know, I think it's, you know, you've got ex-players involved in academy football, coaching, helping, just using their knowledge and their experience. You know, I think if you play here, you have a real understanding of what the club's about and what it means to the people in the area. And the struggles that the kind of club has been through over the years, and to pass on that knowledge and that little bit of advice to the younger players, I think it's vital, you know.
Kinsey-Wellings goes back.
Still scoring a lot of goals now for Porchester. I think he got his 4th hat-trick of the season on Saturday.
Oh, really?
32 goals already from this season. Can you believe that? Unbelievable.
It's like modern-day Ted McDougall.
Yeah. Well, if he carries on this, he's heading for about 70 goals, I think, this season. It's Doogie. And then that's just over the head there of Hamid. Deep ball in. And then Doogie just went in there with the shot and out of play. It just goes to show with Brett Pittman's story, he's still got it in the sense that, I know it's Wessex League, but to get 32 goals is quite extraordinary. I know he didn't score that many for Eastleigh last season. Perhaps he didn't get the service that he's getting right now.
Yeah, no, it's good to see. Like, obviously, you know, a lot of players, a lot of professional players, they all play football because they love it. You know, and that doesn't stop as you get older. So to see him still playing and still scoring goals is great.
Still got that touch as Pedder now for Queen's Park Rangers. Back again towards Anthony. Off to Costa Gonzalez. Started off at Alicante before being scouted. Hercules are moving on, and now it's a chance for Queen's Park Rangers.
little bit more movement on the bench here. I'm wondering if it might be Remy Rees-Dotton coming on for Ashley Clark. Like I said, Ashley's only a first year. Not a regular starter for the under-18s by any means.
Challenge from Hamid. Morgan's close to him. So it looks like it could be a change soon. Here's Gubbins. Now left to Doogie.
Yeah, that's good work from the back line, that. Just getting their distances right with the intensity as the QPR players pass the ball backwards. Good breakout from Lewis to put pressure on the centre half and catching the QPR attackers offside. Just that little bit of extra 5-yard hard work to get up the pitch just makes it a little bit easier.
That's off the head there of Rossi for Queen's Park Rangers, and they're not going to keep it in play. So yeah, we are about to see a substitution for the Cherries, second of the evening. To see who's going to come off. So off is going to come Finn Tonks.
Number 2, Finn Tonks. Number 15, Remy Rees-Dotton.
So Remy Rees-Dotton comes on to the field.
I think that's with Thursday in mind, Neil.
I saw Remy played up front, came off the bench and played up front on Saturday morning and got a goal. But I've also seen him play right wing back.
Okay.
So it could be with one eye on Thursday.
Yeah, it might just be a change to a back three potentially, just with the size of the pitch, making the distances easier for the younger lads to cover.
There's another lad who's had a couple of bad injuries already this season, Remy, which has sort of kept him back a little bit, but he's backfiring now. Like I said, he got a goal on Saturday in the 4-2 defeat against Portsmouth.
Through ball here, towards the left-hand side. Solid game, O'Neill, didn't he have there, Finn Tonks, today? Solid game there at right back.
I don't think I've ever not seen him have a solid game, if I'm brutally honest. He's one of those right backs who 7 or 8 out of 10 every week, and sometimes maybe a 9 or a bit of a Neil Young character, really.
I was about to say exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
Although I think Finn moved a little bit quicker than Neil Young. No, I thought he done really well, Finn. Like I said, he was solid defensively, diligent in his work, and give us an outball in an attacking area, and looked a threat. So he should be pleased with what he's done tonight.
Here's Toure Williams.
Yeah, it looks like we stayed as a back four. So Remy seems to have just come in as a right back.
Yeah, it looks like just a straight swap there, doesn't it?
Yeah.
For the time being. But it has the potential to switch formations if needs be. But QPR in possession now. Can Morgan get there? Morgan tries to win the ball back there in that left back position. Back to Gubbins. And then Anthony. Shot there from Hamid. Clark. Long ball forward for Morgan. Puts it in the right kind of area, doesn't it? And then Clark puts him under pressure there, and Gubbins heads it out of play.
Did well again, Clark. He's putting himself about. You know, like you said earlier, they're two big centre halves there, and he's forced them into an error there.
Yeah, good bit of hard work. Just shows you what you can do. You know, it's he's done great for his team there. Chasing down effectively a lost cause, but getting a throw in the attacking third of QPR. So well done, Ash.
In the meantime, the Cherries in possession as they go wide from Kinsey Wellings. But given away, and now Doogie for QPR. Played out from Hamid and out for Tho. So we're halfway through the second half, still looking for that first goal.
just a stray pass there from Remy to Michael, and I remember Eddie Howe always used to talk about partnerships, and Michael will be used to playing with Finn, and when somebody comes on and they have a little chat, things like that.
Yeah, you could see that. Just a little bit of time to get up to the pace of the game for Remy and just understanding Michael's movements. But I think both sides at the minute, where there's a little lull in the game, just a little bit guilty of that little bit of quality in that final pass or in the final couple of passes. I think the Cherries definitely started the better of the second half, but QPR have come more into it in the last 5-10 minutes. They just seem to be making a couple of substitutions now that will bring them on fresh legs. Be nice to get that little bit more control again and build up the play and get into the QPR on a more regular basis.
Yeah, Woodman comes on for Gubbins, who's had a good game at the back for QPR. Had that great free kick from the edge of the penalty area as well on 50 minutes, which was tipped behind there from Terrell. So they're going to make 2 substitutions, and the other one is going to come. Pedder is coming off. And Harry Murphy comes on to replace him. So Woodman and Murphy come onto the field for Queen's Park Rangers. QPR, who are 9th out of 10 in their league. 13 points and 12 matches for them. 3 wins, we were saying earlier on in the first half. As they drive towards the halfway line. Out to Hamid. And back again towards Hawkins. Goes left to Anthony. Got 2 Anthonys, QPR, one on the bench, which could make things confusing if he comes on at some point. But Queen's Park Rangers are in possession down the left-hand side again already with a substitute, Murphy, with his first touch. Hamid thought about shooting. Here he is again. Bit of spell of possession from them. Here's Murphy again. Out to Anthony.
Thought it was handball.
Looked like it didn't now. It's back towards Murphy. He's already been in the action, but that time that shot is harmless.
Yeah, they've moved the ball a lot better in the last 10 minutes, QPR. Going from side to side, switches of play, just stretching our back line and our midfield. Working hard, though, to keep them spaces to a minimum.
And Williams, just back, getting away with that one. Terrell there. And it looks like they get a corner as a result. They do. So it's a corner kick there off this right-hand side.
I think I'd have settled for a corner after that little passage of play there.
They're going to whip it in there towards the substitute. Tries to get there on that far side to Woodman.
Getting to the stage of the game with the fatigue setting in. Concentration levels are vitally important, especially when you're tired.
And young, I would imagine.
Yeah.
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 The corner.
So important at this stage, like your teammates, just the vocal communication, the encouragement, little bit of simple information can really make your job a little bit easier. I think it's vitally important these days that you're able to give information as a player. It can just stop someone running an extra 5 yards, extra 10 yards, just help with their legs. And you can see, from the performance so far, there's a real good team spirit that Al's got within this group.
Yeah, and he's got a fantastic captain as well. I mean, even I've got earphones on, I can hear Lewis Brown constantly barking at his teammates.
Shot comes in there from Rossi and cleared. Yes, relentless, isn't it? Non-stop, which is great to see.
Yeah.
And substitution about to be made here.
A little bit of history.
Yes, there we are. History about to be made for Bournemouth any second. Come back to that in a second. On for QPR is going to come Anthony. The 2 relatives, and off for them is going to go Doogie, so substitute for them. So there we are. It is coming off for Bournemouth, Ollie Eagle, which means that Harry Redknapp comes onto the field, the 3rd generation of Redknapps to play at the Vitality Stadium. So on he comes after his grandfather Harry and his dad and uncle, and now he's on there as well onto the pitch. Fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a fantastic moment, and I know Mark will be here. He's one of the most dedicated parents at the under-18 games. Harry, again, is a first year. He doesn't start too many games, but Mark is there every week at Camford Arena, watched every minute, watches all the friendlies and everything. So they'll be bursting with pride, all of them, I would imagine, at the moment.
Yeah, a good bit of history. See how this turns out.
Might get a chance here, though.
Decent first touch for him as well.
It was, yeah. He got Bournemouth out of trouble there, didn't he? Here's Anthony. And there's a foul there on Winterburn, and Bournemouth win the free kick.
Now, Dad Mark definitely was a centre half, but obviously Jamie and Harry were not. So it doesn't always go through, does it?
Well, it doesn't always follow. Bournemouth been at the club now since the age of 7.
Yeah, I think a little mention for Ollie and Toure, who's both gone off there for the substitutes. Both real solid performances. Showed good composure, both of them in possession, and really worked hard in their defensive roles. And they can be pleased with their efforts tonight, them two.
So back it comes now for Queen's Park Rangers, who go out towards the right-hand side with Woodman.
Yeah, Charlie Osborne came on for Toure there, as I said, another first year, just starting out on his 2-year scholarship. Just come back from an injury as well, so precious moments for him now.
Yeah.
So here's the full substitutes now for the Cherries. Put in a great shift, as you say there, Toure. And now it's off the foot of the substitute Anthony, and it's a throw for Bournemouth with just over a quarter of an hour of normal time remaining.
Yeah, just over 15 minutes left. A few changes in the game, little changes of position for certain players. So it's important now that the subs that are coming on are able to get to the pace of the game early, and the ones already on the pitch are helping them out to adjust.
Well, given away here, though, this could be dangerous, and they could take advantage. Oh, it's another save behind. As they came forward there, it was given away, and Barlow with a shot, and it's a corner kick, and he has made another fantastic save as he dives down to his left-hand side. Terrell, corner kick for Queen's Park Rangers.
Yeah, good fingertips from Billy there. Max was unlucky. He done the right thing. He's trying to commit the wide man so we can get the pass through to our right back with loads of space in front of him. Just overran it a little bit. Probably his first mistake of the night for Max. But lucky Billy was behind him to kind of clear it up.
And that could easily have sailed in as well, couldn't it? As it's headed wide of the post. But it was, I say, good play there from QPR's Anthony, to be fair, wasn't it? To close down, and Da Costa Gonzalez is just going to receive some treatment. Bournemouth get away with that one there on that occasion. So 15 minutes remaining. Carl, your overall thoughts, what you've seen in this half an hour of the second half?
Yeah, I think, like I said, we started the second half really well. Took control of the game. Some good precise passing, some good positive passing. We had a threat of Finn Tonks down the right-hand side that was able to deliver some good quality balls into the box. I think the last 10-15 minutes, QPR have definitely maybe had the better of it, maybe lost control for us a little bit. They seem to be moving the ball a bit better. Our defensive shape is good. Al will be pleased with that. Distances can be a little bit closer, just to impact the opposition and the man on the ball a little bit more. But we're in that stage of the game where the fatigue, the pitch, the rain, the heavy pitch at the minute, as we can see from here, it's going to be tough on the legs, and they're going to need a good bit of grit and a good bit of determination and a good bit of teamwork to kind of get through these next minutes. If we can have that bit of control back in possession, which will obviously help, hopefully we can get up the pitch a little bit more and be a little bit more of a threat in the final third.
Yeah, I was just looking at the changes that Alan has made there, and those players he's bought off played 90 minutes for the youth team on Saturday. So that would correlate with them coming off now, because there's no way they could play 90 on Saturday, 90 tonight, and then 90 on Thursday in the FA Youth Cup against Liverpool.
Nice to see ours a plan, not just making it up as he goes along.
Yeah, he certainly does have a plan.
Yeah.
I know, with the game coming up in less than 72 hours as well, so there's no time at all to say with that match coming up on Thursday at 2 p.m. kickoff. With the senior team back in action tomorrow night at Newcastle United in the League Cup. It's just flown by, really, hasn't it, those few weeks now, with Bournemouth back in action with that winter break. And then back against Chelsea on the 27th of December. But here it's Premier League Cup action tonight at Vitality Stadium. Match number 5 of 6 in the groups. Bournemouth against Queen's Park Rangers. The third Premier League Cup home stream we've brought you this season. And now when Murphy goes left to Anthony, he's got his namesake to his left-hand side. Here he is again. Headed away, good play, not once but twice. Good play there from Osborne. Cleared. Played for Ringwood Town before making the move at the age of 10. And Anthony goes in field.
Yeah, looks like Michael might be just struggling a little bit with cramp there. Seems to be not running as fluidly as he has been. They're becoming a threat down this left-hand side.
Here's Anthony. Hamid goes wide. Rossi.
Maybe an option for Al, maybe just to switch someone out this right-hand side with Michael, maybe get him a little bit more in field, maybe limit his amount of distances he's got to run if he is struggling with a bit of cramp. Just to kind of put a stop to this left-back, left-winger combo. Both Anthony, am I right in saying, Ian?
There's Murphy, sorry, with the right foot, saved by the goalkeeper.
Both called Anthony?
They are indeed, yes.
Related?
Yeah. Yes, but luckily we haven't got Jaden Anthony on the field, otherwise we'd be really confused.
You would. But yeah, you can see they have a good understanding together. Overlaps, underlaps, timings of pass, weight of pass. Looks like a dangerous area for them in a minute, and we need to maybe get to grips with that.
Now it's Costa Gonzalez.
Just talking to Jaden Anthony, Carl, am I right in thinking you managed him at under 18s and under 21s?
Yeah, so I was in charge of the 18s when he come through. So we had him on trial for 2 to 3 weeks. I think Carl Robson, who's now in our scouting department, brought him through, head of academy recruitment, done a great job. We had him for a little bit, and he come in and he was skinnier than what he is now, and maybe not as tall, and but about 3 stone when wet, kind of thing. So, but yeah, no, we could both see, both myself and Carl, that he had something about him. We had to be. I think the situation we're in, where we are academy location and stuff, we can't always have the ready-made player that comes in at 16. We have to give these players a little bit of time, give them a chance to develop. And Jaden's one of them that's definitely seen the benefits of being given that extra bit of time. Probably not fully developed until he was 21. Do you know what I mean? So that's a good 5 years from 16, and he had some real good stuff going, some injuries that were a bit lower for him, and he went through a journey through the 18s, the 21s. And now onto the first team, which is fantastic. And I think, overseeing it all he's such a good kid. Do you know what I mean? He wants to do well. He wants to work hard. He tries to take on board, things that help him make him better, and just try and get better and better every time he gets out onto the pitch or the training pitch. And it's really pleasing to see that all his hard work that he's had over the years is paying off for him.
I mean, he's not the only one by any means, but he epitomises exactly what this setup is all about. Yeah,
definitely. I think that, it's the whole thing about having academies. You want them to try and produce players for your first team. I think it's an integral part of the community, the academy. It brings all through the ages, brings so many families, parents, people together. Just see how Billy gets on here.
Gets a touch to it, Terrell, but Anthony might take advantage here for QPR. Good play. And Stuttle's just come on as well for Bournemouth, so he's come on for Costa Gonzalez. Instead, we're struggling for a few minutes, so he's come straight into the action. And Jose's just come on for Queen's Park Rangers as well.
Yeah, just going back to the academy, an integral part of the community. You want to try and make players that get in the first team. If not, do they move on and make a career? Can you set them up for the future? I think the most important thing about it all, and I think something that the academy's always stood stood by for, even when I was in the academy starting at under 11s. You got to make these players into good people, good human beings, good morals. And I think that's vitally important, because that will take you so much further within your footballing than sometimes just the natural ability.
The changes, Carl, since you started off in the academy at 11 are mind-blowing, aren't they?
Well, yeah. Yeah, just a bit from a health and safety perspective, I think. Yeah. There were some very dubious training pictures that I think we went on back in the day. But yeah, it still has the same feel. Like I said, it was great when I come through, like I said, at under 11, to the amount of stuff they get given these days. I mean, the younger age groups, the facilities and the people that work with them to help them progress through the years and through the ages is phenomenal. Sports science people, medical people, great coaches, good educational teachers behind them. Do you know what I mean? So it's everything's there for them. Do you know what I mean? To kind of do it. And I think we've got a great academy that gives them.
There's a chance here, and it goes wide. Sorry.
No, that's all right. Sorry, mate. But luckily, we've got everything that gives them every opportunity, and then ultimately it's down to the player to kind of take them chances when they can.
The other thing as well is the exposure these players get compared to sort of 20, 30 years ago as well, isn't it? Because supporters know now who a number of the academy players are, the players coming through, whereas sort of back in the day, you'd just probably rely on maybe a couple of pages in the programme to know who the players were, wouldn't you?
If you're lucky.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. You would play in a reserve game here, Carl, and there would be 10 people in the stand.
Yeah, yeah, that's it. So, it's great. I mean, obviously that's maybe a benefit stroke negative of social media.
Yeah.
But I think, with the way football is in the world today, there is so much exposure, so much TV, so much positive and negative stuff. The players are kind of exposed to that from early age, so it's kind of the norm. They're not suddenly thrust into the headlights if they suddenly play in the first team. They're kind of just used to that kind of scenario from a young age.
Games like this tonight will give them a real feel, won't it, as well, with a good crowd out there today at Vitality Stadium. And 6 minutes left on the clock. There has been a goal elsewhere between Brighton and Derby, with Derby leading by 2-1. So if things stay as they are, as QPR put the ball in towards Terrell. Didn't want to put the curse on just in case QPR scored, but if things stay as they are, Bournemouth just need that one goal to qualify through to the knockout stages.
Yeah, good safe hands there from Billy.
Given away though. And now they could take advantage with Hamid. And Anthony tries to place it and just past the far post.
Yeah, it's been a real live wire since he's come on, Anthony. Right-footed left winger, likes to cut inside. It's caused quite a few problems for us since his introduction.
So it comes nearly towards Stuttle. So 5 minutes left on the clock of normal time. The Jose for Queen's Park Rangers. Number of substitutes been made, a couple of stoppages, so we could have a fair bit of injury time here tonight as well. Here in the Premier League Cup. It's Anthony. Switched out wide. The Jose. Now they could go all the way, and they do go all the way. It's a terrific finish with the left foot. And Rossi takes advantage, bottom corner. And it felt like it was coming with the pressure that Queen's Park Rangers were putting on Bournemouth. And with 4 minutes to go, it's Bournemouth 0, QPR 1.
Yeah, do you know what? It's a good finish. Good bit of play from the goal scorer. Just that little bit of fatigue that we spoke about earlier, just in terms of moving their feet. And he's able to get to the edge of the box and strike it well, and it goes in at the near post. Where unfortunately Billy's not able to get a hand to it. Yeah, disappointing for the lads because they're working so hard. They're trying to cover the spaces. They're trying to put pressure on the ball. But he's definitely made it count there, and a good finish from the QPR player.
It was bottom corner, lovely finish. didn't really leave Terrell with any chance either, did it, Neil?
Well, we've seen from tonight's performance from Billy Terrell, we always knew it was going to take something very, very good to beat him, and it certainly has done. And picked the ball up on the edge there and beat a couple of players and picked his spot right in the corner. It was, like we said, it was a fantastic finish, and still time to get back into it though.
Yeah, still just over 3 minutes of normal time remains. Queen's Park Rangers try and go out to the left-hand side. Forward from Winterburn.
Yeah, like you said, hopefully there's a good bit of injury time. Nothing to lose now. Do you know what I mean? Send a few more players forward. Get balls into the box.
Reece Dotterman plays it back. Chance they go wide to the right-hand side. The flag's up. But hopefully, as you say, a good chunk of injury time to come for Bournemouth to try and respond here. The referee brings out the yellow card as well there for Winterburn.
Double keen on that one, Neil, wasn't he?
Well, I think he'd given him a load of stick for when the lad kicked the ball out of the stadium. And the referee was saying, well, hang on, there's another ball there. What are you moaning about? The QPR lad kicked the ball out of the stadium.
Yeah.
And Winterburn said, well, he's kicked the ball out, but there was already another one ready to play. So I think, and then he's given the linesman some more. So we never know. We weren't there, but that's what I thought. But it's probably a little bit of frustration in there as well, isn't there, after just conceding as well?
Yeah. I think Billy just announced his man of the match tonight. Did I hear that right? I think.
Man of the match.
Yeah, I think Billy just announced his man of the match.
Yeah, which is deserved, isn't it?
Yeah, I think
with the
so.
amount of saves that he's made.
I think so. I think Max Kinsey Wellings wouldn't have been far behind him as well. I think he's had a pretty solid game as well. So hopefully we can just get something from these final few minutes.
Now here's Clark. He's got Stuttle to his right-hand side. Can he take advantage? Just gets away from him, but he does win the free kick. And the yellow card's going to come out again here for the substitute, Woodman. So number of yellow cards, but this time it's a chance for Cherries to get a late equaliser here.
Yeah, determination again from Ashley Clark, just showing, putting that pressure on the QPR defence and getting his just rewards. Been real positive tonight, Ashley, with his work rate and his effort.
Well, it could be a left footer here from Morgan. Morgan's got the ball in his hands, puts the ball down.
It's another yellow card. It was another good decision by the ref, in fairness, because he played the advantage and then pulled them back. So
yeah, and to be fair, a number of the yellow cards have been that way, haven't they? Really?
Yeah.
Fairly deserved. Wonder who's going to fancy this one? It'll be Brown by the looks of it.
Was it going to be a Winterburn? Is it
Morgan? I think
Morgan.
Standing over that one with his right foot. Looks like he fancied this one. Edge of the penalty area. Can he take advantage? 90th minute. Big moment this would be here in the Premier League Cup. Does stand over it, and it just sails wide of the post. And for a second, you never know, do you? As soon as it bends over the wall, but wide it went as we head into stoppage time. Just a 4 minutes of added time indicated from the fourth official.
If this was a World Cup game, it would have been 14 minutes, wouldn't it?
It would actually, yeah. I thought that might have set a precedent in every game we'd be watching with 15 minutes or so. I think you're right, we wouldn't be out till 10 o'clock, would we? And I'm surprised actually, I thought we'd have a lot more than that if the substitutes have been made. But
last little push from the lads.
Yeah, Redknapp heads it on towards that left-hand side. Morgan plays it left. See for QPR. Ooh. Another throw. So just a 4 minutes indicated.
Has the next game been scheduled?
Yeah, it's 13th of January. It's supposed to be played at Hamwell Town's ground.
Okay.
And again, Neil, the stakes will be high for that one if things stay as they are, because it will still be all to play for Bournemouth in that final group game. In the meantime, here comes Anthony.
Yeah, they've had Well, it's not over yet, but
Hamid with a shot, and Terrell makes the save.
if there was a positive result one way or the other in the other game, then there was always going to give us 2 bites of the cherry, wasn't it, today or the 13th of January?
Exactly, so it will give Bournemouth an opportunity, that one, away from home, as I say, in January. So we've played a couple of minutes of stoppage time here, so about halfway through injury time. Can Bournemouth get that equaliser? They had that chance a few minutes ago with that free kick from Morgan, which just went wide of the post. Terrell, this could be problems though. Could be big problems. And it is. And it finds the back of the net from Bala, and he makes no mistake. And that is game, set and match. Unfortunately for Bournemouth, into stoppage time. It's Bournemouth 0, QPR 2.
Yeah, it's a shame for Billy. You know, he didn't deserve that on his performance tonight. Just a lapse in concentration, decision making at the end. But, you know, credit to the QPR players, done fantastically well once he actually wins the ball back from Billy, just to have that little bit of composure, a good bit of ball manipulation, and then a quality finish with a nice chip over the defender trying to stop it on the line.
Yeah, shame after being man of the match. And again, these things we said in the first half when he did give the ball away, all these things you learn, and it is a learning curve, especially in an environment like this tonight. Yeah,
100%. Listen, I think for all the players, you know, there's not everything's going to be positive. There are going to be some disappointments and mistakes and certain things you can do better. But as long as you learn from them, you know, I think in the grand scheme of things, I think we'd much rather him make a mistake out here and learn from it rather than when he's, you know, potentially playing for our first team and doing it in a first team game. So, like I said, you know, they're still young, they're still learning, they're still trying to progress and develop. As long as they learn from these incidents, then it's all been worthwhile.
And Bala there, who never really gives Bournemouth a sniff really on the ball, always chasing that ball down. He's had a good game, and he has been rewarded with a goal to get their second goal. And we're into stoppage time, deep into stoppage time now. And the 3 points heading Queen's Park Rangers' way.
Yeah, I think although the result has not gone our way, I think I'll be relatively pleased with some aspects of the game going into Thursday's FA Youth Cup. So, you know, there's been a real good solid work rate, a real good solid organisation in their defensive work, and some nice interplay, especially in the first half and the start of the second half. So I think Al, once he analyses this, yes, he'll be disappointed maybe with the goals and the nature of the goals and the final result. But I'm sure he'll look back and see that there's some real positives to take going forward.
There we go, there's the whistle. As Carl says there has been some positives for this game going forward for Bournemouth, but 2 goals in the second half, especially one very late on there from Bala into an empty net, means here in the Premier League Cup it finishes at Vitality Stadium, Bournemouth 0, Queen's Park Rangers 2. So a big game to come though, Neil, on Thursday, as we were saying earlier, against Liverpool. The substitutions were made as well, with that, bearing that in mind, but they've just got to pick themselves up quickly now going into that game, because that's a big game coming up on Thursday.
Yeah, I mean, this a lot of the players, this will be their first game on this pitch as well. That's what you've got to remember, so they'll be much more prepared for that, because it's a big difference from Canford Park Arena to Vitality Stadium. So yeah, it's going to be, I don't think Alan will be too disappointed either. It's 2 goals in the last 4 minutes. Apart from that, there was very little in it. A little bit of tiredness perhaps in the second half of the second half, which was when Queen's Park Rangers came on much stronger. But at the end of the day, I think that Alan will be quite content.
Yeah, I think so. You know, the nature of the game and the age group that these lads are playing. Potentially, you know, there's a 4-year age gap between some of these players. So, yeah, like Neil said, I think, you know, Al will be disappointed, but he'll see some positives going into Thursday.
Yeah, and FA Youth Cup Thursday, 2 p.m. kickoff here at Vitality Stadium.
So I'll have a look at some of the replays now, the opportunities that came for Bournemouth. This was a good chance, wasn't it? It's fantastic trickery from Clark in the second half, just couldn't quite find the finish.
Yeah, Finton's getting down the right-hand side, as we saw on numerous occasions tonight. Bodies in the box, which is great, and a great little first touch. It's unfortunate with the strike there not to get it on target.
There he goes, another chance here that came there. It's a good finish. I mean, QPR had a number of opportunities, but as soon as he hit that, you knew that was heading into the bottom corner, and that's exactly what happened. A left footer. Not really going to stop that one, are you? It's Aurora with a left-footed strike. Nothing at all which Terrell could have done about that one, and that was fairly late on in the second half.
Yeah. And here we had a chance for this. I think we thought this was in from up here. Just drifted past the post.
Morgan with a free kick. Decent position, this one. It came just after that goal. Not far off at all was that goal.
Yeah, good strike. Obviously into the dying minutes of the game, would have been nice to see that one on target and see how the goalie deals with it. And then just this mistake here from Billy towards the end, just a little lapse in concentration, but a good lesson for him. And to be fair to the QPR players, it's a great finish.
Yeah, Balla did well there. Under pressure, and he manages to put it away with his right foot. So 2 goals. That one very late on, deep into stoppage time, has given Queen's Park Rangers a 2-0 win here at Vitality Stadium. A goalless, it was pretty evenly poised. Thank you very much for watching this live stream this evening as well. Thank you to Neil Perrott from the Bournemouth media team and Carl Fletcher. Great to have you both there. And just a final thought on the Premier League Cup. 3 defeats in a row for Bournemouth, Carl, but there's certainly anything but out of it because there's all to play for in that final game.
Yeah, very much so.
January.
Yeah, very much so. And they learn from the games and they learn from the defeats that they've had previously, and then looking forward to the next game when it comes around after Christmas.
And Neil, some positives we were saying in the first half, individual performances, there were some good ones out there, lots to look for Alan Connell to look at and reflect on and be quite happy about, as we've mentioned.
I think all the players can go home content that they've given their all, they've left everything out there. Like I said, it was just 2 goals in the last 4 minutes, just a lapse in concentration for Billy for the second one, and a great piece of skill, and that's what settles football matches, and that's what's done it tonight.
It has. Well, thank you very much for watching this live stream tonight. We've enjoyed it here at Vitality. Back on Thursday. Big one for Bournemouth in the FA Youth Cup against Liverpool. Full time here though. It finished Bournemouth 0, QPR 2.